enjoy the show. Play on my channel.
It's a little different today because we have a second co-host. We also have my child, my lovely child here, and I would like to introduce you to her. So, Sophia, can you please come in here real quick so we can introduce you to all of Delco? Okay, just stand right here. It's fine. Just right here. Kneel down. All right. Hold on. Wait, come here to the microphone. Actually, let's try this again. Sorry, guys. We're not used to having this many people on set.
There's a lot of people here today.
Hello? Hello?
Let's introduce you to all of Delco, a.k.a. blow out everybody's eardrums in all of Delaware County.
So that was Sophia. Sophia, you're good to go now. You can watch from the sidelines.
You need to put like a warning for
Trigger warning.
Can she can sit there, right?
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
Yeah, she's not in front.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about a few things. Let's see how everybody's week was. How was your week?
My week was fine, with the closure of the hospitals and stuff. That was kind of rough. My mom works there.
Does she?
She does. She works for cardiology consultants, though.
They're
still open.
Yes. Now, here's the thing I want you to know, and I want all of Delco to know. We are going to be doing, brought to you by Projangers and Wallhangers, who also brings you our podcast, a huge event to take care of them, to take care of the employees. So the event is slated for October. It might be sooner. But here's the thing. We know that October, you guys all might have jobs by then, but we still want to take care of you.
We still love you,
Yeah.
and this was super unfair to everybody involved.
So there is a bulk foods place in Delaware County. It's in Glen Olden. It's called Delco Bulk Foods. They are actually doing donations to where you can donate to them. Then they put these boxes together for the employees who used to work at Crozier and Taylor, and they take care of them. They give them to them. They give them, I think there's like 5 dinners, 5 breakfasts, 5 lunch, snacks, drinks, the whole 9 yards. We are actually going to be helping them also during our event, which will either be in Brookhaven or Aston. We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
Well, Emma, how was your weekend? Or your week, I should say. How's your weekend going?
I mean, I really just did college stuff.
Well, that's
Okay.
good. You're a student. Absolutely. I would expect nothing less.
What are you going for?
I am a psychology major because I want to be a psychologist.
Okay.
That's amazing. Sophia has a very big connection with all that we all do. I think everybody in this room on this podcast has a huge connection to mental health. This just happens to be Mental Health Awareness Month in May. We get to celebrate the whole month. I personally am a survivor of suicide awareness, like suicide attempts. I've had through high school at least 30 of them.
Me as well.
Back then, mental health wasn't a big thing. We didn't have the resources that we have now. When I was younger, I am 41, and I actually figured out I had a problem and stopped it.
Yeah.
I didn't ask anybody for help, and that was the worst part about it.
I spent a lot of time, as a younger person, being told by my own parents that my depression was fake. And that was always a point of contention. I wasn't able to get medicated for it until I turned 18. It was rough. Yeah, it's definitely like mental health awareness is important, and we should definitely be looking into it all year round, not just May.
Yeah, no, it being Mental Health Awareness Month, it makes a big difference, but it's Mental Health Awareness lifetime. It is something that you absolutely. So the one thing I realized too is that you never really are cured from it.
No.
So this is a big thing to admit. Admitting it in front of my daughter is not a bad thing to do. So I don't drive at the moment, and that is because I used to, when I was younger, have those quote-unquote intrusive thoughts. So what if I did this with the car? What if I did that with the car? What if I went that way with the car? It's not that I don't trust myself. I don't have to do it right now. I can just survive.
It's just, that's what an intrusive thought is, though. It's a thought that, you don't necessarily want there, but it's there anyway. Like, it just happens in your head, and even though it's something where it's like, oh, I would never actually do that, it just is a thought that comes up against your will, basically.
And it makes you almost feel guilty about it.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh my God, but I have so much to live
right.
for.
Like, I would never do that. Why is that something that
Exactly.
I'm thinking about?
So, as we say with every time we mention this podcast, if anybody out there is having issues, if anybody is having intrusive thoughts, if anybody's having suicidal thoughts, please stop listening to us and call somebody immediately.
We're not sponsored by BetterHelp, but I've heard great things about BetterHelp. You know, there are lots of communities that can assist you with this kind of thing, and it's definitely important for you to be on the ball with this kind of thing, so that something doesn't happen to you inevitably at some point.
Exactly. So going into a little bit of lighter conversation, big thing about our podcast is relationships.
Yes.
You two are both in relationships. Healthy, adorable, cute relationships. I'm like sandwiched between I love you more and, well, your entire relationship. It's adorable. But we are lucky enough that we do have one of the other half of the relationships here today.
I wonder if I can get him to come over.
Let's see if you can.
Thomas. He's not listening to me. He's busy talking about Oblivion Remaster. Thomas.
Do you want to come in and say hello? If
Come
not,
say
it's
hi.
not a big deal. We can always get it out of the... We're talking about healthy relationships, and both Brianna's and Emma's are great, healthy, amazing relationships.
This is Thomas.
Hi.
Tom is in a band, and me and Tom are actually going to be performing together and singing together too. So he is an extremely talented guitarist. But now that we've done intros with everyone, I saw that little hand.
Yeah,
movement,
he gave her the stop it, you.
and he can keep doing that. But
No, keep going.
that's what it is. It was no, keep going, keep going.
No, stop. I'm kidding. Keep going.
So, healthy relationships, along with what we were talking about in the beginning, portion, go hand in hand too. Because having somebody who can support you, even if you've had thoughts in the past, you've had the intrusive thoughts, having somebody who can sit there and say, "Look, I'm not like everybody else. You can talk to me.
Yes.
I'm somebody here for you." It's a big deal. It's a big deal to have that person. Yeah. Everybody should have that person. And you can have multiple people.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
polyamory is totally fun.
Yeah.
Live
exactly.
your best life. Have as many
Oh
people
my God.
as you feel comfortable with.
That's not exactly how I meant it. But yes, no, that's fun too.
It's also like the part of family of choice if definitely your family is not supporting, because family of choice means so much to so many people.
Yes.
In many different minority groups as well.
Yeah,
so
just
family of
because-
choice is like really like a core part of that, because if you can't rely on your own biological family, but you have other, like, say, friends, or you have a partner and their family supports you, that's where family of choice comes in.
So the weird thing is, it's so funny because my family of choice is that one who was just on camera on the beginning. My daughter is my absolute best friend. And don't worry, Sophia, I'd still be talking about you like this even if you weren't here.
She does this every week,
Yeah,
Sophia.
I do. I talk about you every week. But the thing is that my family of choice besides her are my friends. There are so many. And Matt, and there's so many people that I can call and talk to. I mean, when I tell you that I have on my Facebook, on any given moment, I think the max chat windows you can have open is 5.
Yeah.
I have 5 and like 7 or 8 reminders of other messages coming in. And I'm like, look, when I was in my abusive relationship, I didn't have any friends. My friends were his family.
Right, that's the thing though. Separate you from people
her.
who separate you from the people that they know will have your back and care about you and give you, alternative options, because an abuser doesn't want you to have alternative options. They want you to be stuck in one place with them so that they can continue to abuse you.
Exactly. That is the most traumatic part of it, because you don't realize it until you leave.
Exactly.
We are going deep and heavy in the beginning.
Yeah, we are.
Let's go a little bit later. So I'm trying to think of what we got going on. Okay, so I do have to say that we are in October. I think it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
Next week we have an entire list of products that will actually help you not to. I don't want to say you can't catch it. Obviously, it's not a sickness. Well, it is, but it's more of it's a cancer, and there are products out there that lessen your risk.
Yeah.
For breast cancer. and we could roll with that with so many other
Yeah,
things.
I mean, it's always important to be seeing your gynecologist, being able to get, mammograms done, being able to check yourself, to know how to check yourself. Always the 2-finger rule, guys. Use it.
Yeah, now here's the other thing, too. I will be doing a video. Obviously, I will be wearing clothes. I will be doing a video of how to check yourself in October.
Yes.
Even you two. Breast cancer is coming at a younger age for everybody. It is always good to check yourself from 18 and up.
Right.
Even younger. I think I started when I was 16.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, they teach you in school a lot of the times. You'll get. I know they'll often separate girls from boys and have the puberty conversation with you. But they oftentimes will tell you, like, use the 2 fingers. Make sure you're doing it once a month to check. Make sure there's no lumps. Anything that feels abnormal, immediately go get it checked out.
And they always say to check in the shower.
Yes.
So check in the shower.
I didn't get that.
Really?
And when they separated the girls and boys, it was more, I don't know what the boys did, and I honestly don't care.
I don't want to
I don't want to know.
They were 5th grade boys, and I just was like, ew.
Fair.
And for girls, it was, you're going to bleed every month, and you have to be scared. And I was like, how much blood are we talking about? Like, I need to go to the hospital.
When in reality, period blood is only 2 tablespoons your entire 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Did
I
you?
know.
Isn't
It
that
sure
crazy?
feels like you're pouring buckets most of the time, though.
Especially when you stand up and you're just like,
Oh my God, you get the rush. I hate that.
I'm sure that
need to
I'm
go change
sure-
my pants now.
What a
Thanks.
fun conversation
I'm
for
sure
all
that-
the men in the other room.
Yeah, and the men in the other room probably go like, "What the hell?" But no, it gets better because it's.
No, they're not. Actually, I just looked over. They're all focused on Oblivion Remastered. Locked the fuck in.
Well, keep doing that
I mean,
because conversations
Her boyfriend just went,
getting crazier. So you might want to keep watching that and just ignore us. No, it's I don't know how we even got on the conversation of the period, but like,
We were talking about breast cancer.
and
Oh,
how
breast
they
cancer, yes,
separate the
yes,
girls
yes.
and boys.
So here's the other thing too, because all right, so I have a friend, and we'll call her Emily. Emily lives in Nebraska. Emily
Nebraska.
Nebraska. I said it like that my entire life.
Nebraska.
I said, guys, you both are making fun of my accent.
No,
Chill.
it's fine. It's fine. We love you.
No, it's fine. You can make fun because I'm like, how the hell am I going to sing while I'm saying water? But no, she lives in Nebraska, and she was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer when she was 22.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a toll on her marriage, a huge toll.
Yeah.
So that brings me to not just breast cancer. Like, we can divert the conversation to other things that bring tolls on relationships.
Yes.
So, you two, you're the only
goodness.
2 here in relationships that are oh, you too, Sophia, but you're not on camera. But you also are. Let me ask you first, Brianna. When you have an argument with your man, let's clarify this first. So say what you're going to say. Do you guys argue?
No.
Yeah, no,
Not
they don't
really.
argue. No, that's fine because it's fun not arguing. It's fun though when you do argue. And you
We're
can-
both kind of low energy people. Like,
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah, we're both incredibly, like, we're very much homebodies. So like
Mhm.
we both have like a lot of trust. Like, there's nothing that like I'm scared of in my relationship. Like, obviously marriage is a whole other can of worms. But like, as far as like, do I check his phone? No. Does he check my phone? No, because neither of us have any reason to. If he gets a message, a lot of times he'll ask me to check it for him, because there's that trust there. You've got that connection with somebody where it's like, I know that even if somebody comes to you, you will tell them the truth, right? Like, we're in a relationship, you're with somebody, and you know that, like, what our boundaries are.
Exactly. That's a good thing. I love that. I love that even with a friend situation,
Mm-hmm.
I still am told every single time. And I'm whispering. But
Yeah, you got real quiet.
Yeah.
I was like,
Hello?
You know, we'll have that discussion
At
after
a
the
later
podcast.
date.
We'll have that discussion at a later date. So, but here's the thing: whether you are being told to look at it, like, hey, here's my phone, can you check that for me?
Right.
Or you're being told exactly what that ding was. That is the favorite part. It's, oh, Oh, I just got a message from my mom. I just got a message from this person. That's got a message from that person. And it is absolutely the most humbling experience.
Exactly.
Because you're not sitting there scared. I have left a situation in fight or flight mode. I got here in fight or flight mode. I was like, all the men are the same. And I was quickly put in my place. Not all the men are the same.
A lot of them, but not all of them.
A lot of them are the same.
I hate most of them, but there's a select
But
few.
some of them are pretty cool.
They're okay.
So, like, it's so funny. In our friend circle, and now you're part of this friend circle,
Yes.
because everybody knows who Brianna is, everybody knows who Tom is, and everybody's going to know even more. But in our friend circle, there's not one person in this circle that if I needed somebody, or randomly, like, I did it with somebody before where I was like, yeah, I need to borrow $10. And they were like, here's 30.
Yeah.
Because it's like you find that group of people who are like, all right, I'll do anything for you. What do you need?
Yeah.
Or they're like, okay, let me call. I'll be right over. Like I've had those situations, and I love it. And it's trust. Now, how about you? What is your dynamic with Oliver?
We're generally like we argue about like stupid stuff, but in like a funny way. But we do have arguments, and it's mainly because I have struggled with. I have anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder. But also I have been traumatized in like my life before.
Right.
So I have trouble trusting, and sometimes I self-sabotage myself and I start the arguments, and then we do argue because of that. And sometimes my boyfriend gets mad, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he like can realize that I'm doing a self-sabotaging thing, and I have been better ever since moving in with him. But usually after everything like calms down, we actually just have a full-on talk. It's the important thing about like arguments and relationships as a whole is you talk about it.
It's
Communication.
It's the C word.
So important.
It's the C word. Yeah.
So important because then I like will realize like, hey, I didn't mean to do that. I was either overwhelmed or something happened and just nothing was going right, and I felt like everything was going to shit in that moment, and we'll just talk, and then we end up playing like a stupid game next to each other. Like we end up playing Roblox.
Hell yeah.
So even in a friendship, even in a relation, whatever you're in, so I can have a conversation with somebody. I can get in an argument with him. I can walk away, or they can walk away, and that brings the conversation to a halt, because then you're coming back to a conversation about what about this made me pissed off? What about that made you pissed off? I could even do it with my daughter and tell her, look, you need to. I've told her that in the past, to just walk away. Like, I'll leave her room when we lived in the same house. I would leave her room and recollect my thoughts, and that's how you clear your head. Don't shake your head. I saw that.
No, it's always
There were
good.
arguments, Sophia, with me and you that were blow-ups, but that's when both of us should have just walked away and recollected.
It's always good to take some time.
You want to say something? Is that what you said? Come over. You can say something. Absolutely. Come over. Yeah, you can stay off camera. I'll just repeat what you said.
I feel like it's hard to walk away because it could just, something can make you so mad or so sad that you just want to go back and talk back and say something that you're not supposed to say.
Exactly, and that no matter what age that happens. So what Sophia was saying was that and you can correct me if I'm wrong, walking away from an argument, for her at least, she wants to go back and say something. She wants to go back and keep going, and it's harder for her to walk away. And that's normal.
It is,
That's
yeah.
normal.
That's a normal human
Yeah.
reaction. As the psychology major, that's a
Yeah.
normal human
You're like a
reaction.
perfect person. Sophia, so teaching even the younger ones out there. So I'm hoping we don't have anybody like 13 and up watching our podcast. I
But
mean,
it's very possible,
it is
you know?
possible, huh? Yeah, of course.
There's going to be like a
you're here.
9-year-old being like, what are they talking about?
Right.
What are they
So
saying?
having, I forgot where I was going with this. Yes, you can watch the podcast because you're sitting through the whole thing right now. But walking away, collecting your thoughts, saying, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to go back to my relationship, my mother, my father, my sister, my sibling, whatever. I'm going to go back to them, and then I'm going to explain in a better, more calm, relaxed feel. And Sophia's not used to seeing me like this. I used to be a hothead. Oh, if you can believe it. I used to be a hothead.
If I can believe it.
I was I was in Macy's with a very good friend of mine, who Matt introduced me to as his best friend's wife. And we were in Macy's. It was her daughter's prom. She's stressed out. The Macy's employee is taking her time. So her name is Jay, the high schooler who's getting her prom makeup done. And she goes to the woman, I am so nervous about time. I have to go to prom at 6. It is 5 o'clock. I'm not even dressed. I still got to get home. They didn't go to prom till 7:30. But I know, it was one of those days. Well, they had the coolest car. It was so nice.
I mean, you gotta get ready for it.
But you could tell that the woman who was doing her makeup at the Clinique counter, and I don't mind calling you out for it because I was literally going to scream
woman
at
at the Clinique counter.
Clinique counter. Yeah. I didn't even know your name, and I'm not going to be that rude. But she was going slower. After Jay expressed, I know, right? Sophia's like, what? She literally would walk around the counter looking for makeup. Girl, you don't need to do that. Just do her makeup and get her the hell out of there.
That's petty. That's so petty.
It was.
Like, what for?
And then you want to know what's worse? She said to me and Jay's mom, she goes, yeah, you have to buy 2 products or 3 products. That's the only way. We don't accept payment for this. You just have to buy 3 Clinique products. Jay's like, I don't wear makeup. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, I don't wear Clinique. And so they ended up just buying 2 things, and I told them to return it the next day. I said, just return
keep the receipt.
Yeah, keep the receipt and return it because.
And you got your makeup done for free.
Yep. But I was literally.
You specifically, woman at the Clinique counter.
Right? And you know who you are because you were wearing a short black dress and.
Oh, she's calling her out.
And
calling the lady out.
Jesus sandals, too, on top of that. You think you could have been a little bit nicer if you were wearing Jesus sandals, but, you know.
That feels like it's a workplace violation. I don't think you're supposed to wear open-toed shoes
at
a job.
Well, I said that in front of her. I was like, oh, are you out of uniform? And she was just like.
Yeah, girl, I think you might be.
So it was so funny.
Report you.
Right? Well,
I see petty.
Petty Betty right here. But I was like, I said, I'm going to go over there and say something to her, but it is not my prom. It is not my face. It is not my makeup. So I was like, keep my cool, keep my cool. I tried on every pair of luxury sunglasses, Gucci, Tory Burch, because I was just trying to keep myself busy. They had all these sunglasses out, and I was trying them on. You know what? I might not have said anything to this woman, but I did find my perfect sunglass shape.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was a big hit because I've never been able to find... Because my face, the more I lose weight, the more my face changes.
See, mine is I always do like the big like cat eye, like 50s kind of.
I'm big
glasses.
I'm big square and big circle. The big
I have a couple circle ones.
I don't wear sunglasses.
Oh no,
you got transition lenses, girl?
No,
I'm so sorry.
I just don't wear sunglasses. I burn. My retinas are gone.
Oh my God.
You also have blue eyes, don't you? Oh, that's a flashbang every time you walk into the sun.
Blue-eyed. Pale ginger.
Now is that
I don't go out in the sun.
Yeah,
is
that's
that
fair.
product of your father, the blue eyes?
Yep.
That's what I thought. So if you ever meet the other person connected to these podcasts, he is a carbon of his daughter, and his daughter is a carbon of him. You are the long-haired version of your father. But
I know when I was younger, everybody would say like, "Oh my gosh, you look so much like your dad," and as like a 4-year-old, I'd be like, "But I'm a girl."
But I'm just a girl.
I don't know.
So the funny thing is that I knew Emma when she was 4.
My goodness, you've known her for that long?
Actually, I've known Emma since she was. I've known Emma since she was born. Her and her sister.
Yeah, because my dad called you that I was being bored.
Yes. So I used to work.
He was like, "I'm not gonna come into work today. My wife is giving birth to our second daughter."
So I was there for the first call of when the first daughter was born. I'm not coming in today. My daughter is being born. Okay, Chris, that's fine. Somebody else can keep the cold box warm, because that's where he would spend all his time in the cold box of Wawa.
Oh, wait a minute. Why are we keeping the cold box warm? That sounds like counterproductive.
Right? No. So
that's a health code violation.
So I used to work at Wawa, and I was Chris's boss. And
Ew.
yeah, I know, right? And he would go in the cold box. Are you sleeping? Did we put you to sleep? No. Okay.
She's resting her head.
She's just resting her eyes.
So me and Chris got along in Wawa, but he would spend 8 hours in the cold box and filling milk. How do you spend 8 hours in the damn cold box?
I could go for a couple hours in a cold box right now. It's so
I
humid
So
today.
Oh my God.
And it just rained. It's just like,
It's,
I know.
yeah. My
So-
hair is angry as hell today.
Oh, that's why my hair's up. You
I
guys-
walked outside, my hair went,
Poof. Yep.
That's what mine does. I get that little halo. I get an afro. It's like,
Oh,
my
God, yeah.
God. But so me and Chris used to work at Wawa. He was in the cold box all the time. Chris used to love to throw the rotting fruit and all of the so that's what we used to do at Wawa to get our
Learning
anger
a
out.
lot about your dad.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm going to
boy.
call him later.
Yeah, right? Well, actually,
Why did you do that?
yeah, no. Tell him, be like, why did you sleep in the cold box? Jillian said that you were in there all the time.
19 years ago, why did you do this?
Right? So,
Hey.
and it was even more like 21 years ago because it was, how old, your sister's a year older than you? Or two?
My sister's like 3.5 years older than me.
Okay, so yeah, it was even longer than that because he worked there when yeah. So, I don't even know how we got on the subject of you look like your father. What did you do?
She hit the
On
mic.
the mic.
God, I can't take them anywhere. All right. Well,
I just gave myself one
guys,
flash.
this is Emma's first and last time ever on the podcast.
No, she's definitely invited back.
Yeah,
I'm
you
having
are
a great time.
Oh my God, this is like a party.
I think I'm crying. I can't
And no-
tell if it's
Lucky
sweat
you
or
weren't.
tears.
Lucky you weren't here last week when we were like cry laughing over the first time we ever cursed.
Oh yeah, that was fun. When was the first time you ever cursed?
I don't know. I
Were
remember.
you young?
I don't know.
Were you
I remember.
five?
No, but I do remember my little brother's first time that he cursed. If I can say
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
tell
that. I won't name him because I don't.
yeah,
know if
don't
he's-
name
No,
him.
that's
Don't
fair.
name him.
But my little brother, he was like, I don't know, 2, and my dad, our dog, Apollo, because Apollo doesn't care if he's on the internet.
No, it does not.
He's a dog. He was being like kind of uppity. He wasn't like relaxing. And my dad goes, "Oh my gosh, stop being an asshole!" And my little brother goes, "Asshole!" And we all went, "What?" And then
Why would
hold
you
on,
say this?
I'll mention another time where we were playing Nerf guns in the house, and my dad got one of us, and my little brother just goes, "Ha! He fucking got you!"
Oh my God.
And we all went.
What did you just say?
We yelled his
Oh my God.
name, and we were like, "Don't, no,
Dude, stop.
That's the greatest. I don't remember my daughter's first time cursing, but I do remember after the first time, she hasn't stopped since. I
That's,
call
yeah,
you
like the
that's
first time
usually how it goes.
Yeah, right. I'm the same way. I cursed for the first time and I haven't stopped since.
I do remember when I first cursed.
Oh,
it was
let's
in
go.
5th grade, and I was walking home with a friend, and I just like. I remember, like, all my life, I was like, I don't want to curse. I'm a good child. Like, and then, like, my friend was talking, and we were walking home, and he was just like, "Have you ever cursed?" And I was like, "No. Why would I do that?"
Why? Why would
And
you
then
do this?
he was like, "Just say, like, the F word," and I was just like, "Fuck."
I love how you say it with such sass.
Fuck. And then I like never discussed it when I got home because I was afraid if I told my dad, he would be like, "Why'd you curse?"
Oh
And
no,
I'm like,
I used to tell on myself all the time. Like the first time I smoked a cigarette, I was 16, and I felt so guilty about it. I went home. I was like with my friend. I'd been sleeping over her house, and I went home that night, and I sat my parents down in the living room. I said, "I have to tell you guys something. It's really important. I had 2 cigarettes today," and they just, because both of my parents are smokers. They have always smoked my whole life. They both just looked at me and they were like, "Okay," and I was like, "I just needed you to know."
I did that when for prom night I got drunk at my boyfriend's house and I stayed over. I didn't do anything. We just literally got drunk and just played video games and just talked and like we had a
Yeah.
good time. We didn't do anything stupid. But I got home and like my dad asked me how like the weekend was and I was like, "Oh, it was really great. I got drunk." And he went, Okay.
Yeah.
And like he was like, "Did you do anything stupid?" And I was like, "No, we stayed in the house the whole time." And he was like, "Okay, I don't
all
care.
right.
I used to go to the creek and get drunk with my friends."
So,
like,
so the one thing about Emma's father is that I have known the man for 20 plus years. It takes a lot for him to get mad. And from what I see, I'm not his kid, so I don't know 100%, but it takes a lot for this man to get mad. Oh, of course she would. Of course she would. Now, I do
no,
have other...
all my life, my dad never really got mad.
Mhm.
When I used to like get in trouble, he would be like, "Just do this, and then you can have your phone back. I don't care." Just
Oh my God. No, it's so funny. Now, we're talking about the first time we cursed. I want to know, and I'm going to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
When did you lose your virginity?
Oh God.
Look at my daughter's like, she's like, this is what we talk about. Just deal.
Unfortunately for me,
And so, wait, hold on. Sophia, you better not answer this question. So, shush it. Oh, okay.
She went, "No."
this is unfortunately gonna get heavy again.
Okay. Oh, God.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, the first time I did anything like that, I was 16. It was with a boy. I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
He was a freshman. And we dated for about 2 weeks, and I was assaulted.
Okay, you
Yes.
did tell me about that in the beginning
yes.
of our podcast. So,
sorry.
let's not. I don't really want to rehash that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
because we
it's
did.
definitely in another episode. If
That
you
doesn't
guys
count then.
So
want,
go
Yeah,
to
doesn't count. Well,
episode 2.
the second time wasn't that great either, but it was an assault. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So
it was
let's
just a bad choice.
So if you guys want to know that story, episode 2, you can go
Yes.
back and watch. So I didn't have a really bad story with mine. I was unfortunately young as shit. I was 14.
Okay.
I
I had friends, that had lost theirs already by the time that I lost mine.
Now the worst part about it, his mother walked in.
Oh goodness gracious!
His mom walked in. She wanted to see if I wanted to help make rum balls. Little did she know.
I was too busy.
We
With
were
other-
being plowed. Like,
Sophia, I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, Sophia.
She got graphic. I did not.
I
But
have no filter.
me and Sophia have had the sex talk in graphic detail when she was, how old were you? We were in Florida. 7. This girl has known about sex since 7. We have never.
I think that's honestly it's for a lot of people that seems young, but I think it's really important.
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, yeah.
I had the sex talk with my daughter when she was 7. I'm not going to be a grandmom.
Yeah.
I scared the crap out of her. You know, I was like, I scared the straight Oh my God. So my daughter just informed that I scared the straight out of her. Okay, I'm not going to be a grandmom. I'm getting grand hamsters. She's already
Hell
told me
yeah.
that before. She's like, oh, I'm going to have hamster babies.
My parents have grand cats currently.
Oh yeah,
How
me and my boyfriend have a cat named Nugget, and
We have
she's
12
our child.
cats,
12.
girl.
But
12? I need to
12
come
cats.
over your house.
Okay,
now.
it's down the street.
yeah,
It's
no, literally
down the street.
So she lit. So we're not going to.
Don't dox me
you
again because I definitely doxed myself in another episode
And
and
we had
it was
to
edited
cut
out.
that out. No, it's right near. I will do this all the time. I'm sorry, I scared her with my. I always am.
No, I
very-
just heard the reverb.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
No, she lives next to a welcome to sign. Let's just say that.
okay.
So she
Just says her full address.
yeah, right?
Actually, it's this street, this number.
Yeah, right. No,
The house looks like this.
It's near a welcome to sign, and I realized that when I went to go pick up
And a diner.
and I went to go. Dude, you're getting.
I know, I'm getting too
uncomfortably
close.
You're getting uncomfortable.
There's a lot of diners in Delaware County, though.
So, when did you lose yours?
When I was how old? 15.
Okay.
okay, so
It was at my mom's house.
it's always at somebody's mom's
So
house.
here's the thing: there was a portion of time when I wasn't allowed to see my boyfriend ever.
Yeah.
Because of
now,
the-
then, your boyfriend?
Yes.
Oh,
Because I ran away to his house when things
Oh
were
my
getting bad in my
goodness.
house.
Yeah.
It's a long story. But you can invite me back and if you
no.
want.
You know what's
But
funny? Wait, Emma, before you start that sentence, I heard about that. I heard about that.
goodness.
What?
She said I was there on the other side of the grapevine.
I heard about that from a bald man who is quite tall and is a goofball. Your father.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, you don't have. We already said he was my dad. You already
Yeah, I know,
named
no, I
him
know,
and
I'm just
everything.
being
You could have
funny.
just said Chris.
Oh yeah, so Chris told me. I can't keep track of who. Chris told me he didn't tell me much. He just told me a little bit because when me and your dad got back into contact again, he was giving me the whole rundown, and the first thing I asked was how my favorites are, Emma and Alyssa, and he was like, "Well, let me tell you a story." So I only heard a little bit.
This
about
one tried to run away.
So we're
This
actually
one's still autistic.
oh my god.
Sorry.
Girl,
I
don't worry, me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, I guess I want to say, like, losing your virginity. The point is that it happens at a different age for
I never
everyone.
got to finish my thing.
Oh,
Oh,
good,
yeah,
go
let her
on, I'm
finish.
sorry.
So
I didn't
there
forgot.
was. I will admit this, and Chris, I am not sorry.
Damn, she's the first name.
I used to go over to my mom's house on weekends, and she lived an hour away, and I would secretly text my boyfriend and say, like, hey, come over to my mom's house. And because my mom liked him, and I explained the whole situation to her. I mentioned that, like, running away was wrong, and I was like, I knew I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done the things I did.
That's great,
But-
though. You have, like, that accountability. And
Yeah.
parents love accountability.
And so he would come over to my mom's house, and then, yeah.
You know.
And then eventually I remembered telling my mom, I was like, you know, like when Oliver would come over, I just named him. Oh, well.
It's fine.
I think he was named earlier.
Yeah, he
as
was.
well.
Oliver.
It's the brother we're not mentioning the name of. But we did mention Oliver earlier. I think you mentioned
Yeah.
his name.
Anywho.
How did he get there?
My love, I'm sorry if you see this.
Did he drive or?
No,
just-
his parents drove him.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually I had to talk with my mom, and I was like, you know, like when Oliver would come over, and she'd be like, yeah, you guys had so much fun. And I have another little brother from my mom and her current boyfriend. She was like, you would have fun with your little brother, and he would always like hang out, and it was so fun. And I was just like, yeah, we were having sex.
Whoa.
In our, like, I shared a bedroom with my sister too, and I would kick her out when Oliver was over. She would gladly leave, though. I wasn't like, if you want to stay in the room, you can be in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, we didn't do anything while she was in
Right.
the room. That's like, but like,
I can picture your sister being like, "Oh no, I'm out. I'm done." I'm
Yeah,
done."
I'm done with
no,
this.
I don't even want to see you guys kiss. And I was like, okay. And I just eventually told my mom, I was like, yeah, we were having sex, and she was like, oh, I knew. And I was like, okay.
That's like when I had to tell my mother on her wedding night to her second husband that 3 years before, and Sophia, I think you already know the story, I'm not sure. 3 years before, I got really high on E. And I
Oh,
was at
goodness.
her house, and she didn't have any idea. And she's like, I can't really get mad at you for that, but at least you stayed a virgin until you got married. And I was like,
Yeah, sure.
I had
Absolutely.
I'm a child of God.
absolutely, but I was like, also, I go,
Child of
oh
God.
my God. I was like, I had a baby before I got married, and I gave him up for adoption. My mother knew that, so in her dream, she was like, yeah, you were a virgin until you got married. But yeah, no, I wasn't a virgin. I'm
That's what we
glad
call red pill ideology. I don't
That's it.
accept your reality.
Yeah, she did not. She still does not accept my reality. But yeah, no, this is
careful.
yeah, so many wires.
I know, a lot of wires.
You should let me tell my story.
Tell it. I want
about my weed story.
Tell your weed story. 'Cause
I
I want
have
you.
two. Can I tell them both?
You can tell.
Are we
They're
talking
so
about the
fun.
first
Tell.
time?
The first time
Okay, I have a
had
story
Good.
as well, but you go
edibles.
So
So-
wait, before she starts, I have to say I have a high tolerance. So her story makes me laugh because I had that one simple feeling like she did with the edibles until like the one time until I turned around, forgot that I took one and took 5, and now
Oh, gosh.
now I take 2,000 milligrams every time. But all right, go on. It's
So
all yours.
my dad already knows this, by the way. So I like we talked about it.
Not outing myself.
I've already outed myself to like one of the most important people in my life. I don't care.
She's gonna add
And
herself.
so this was at my current boyfriend's house where I live now. And I got an edible bar. It was like a strawberry shortcake bar, and I was like, that's just like something easy to start with. The whole total thing was 300 milligrams, and I didn't know how much. No,
I
babe?
know where this is going.
I didn't know how much to eat.
Guys, she definitely ate the whole thing.
No. I ate half.
Okay.
Still a lot.
So I ate about 150 milligrams.
Okay.
And at first, I remember there was my boyfriend's mom had a friend over, and her friend's kid. And I was talking with them, and it was like 30 minutes by that time, and I was standing there, and I just started fucking giggling.
Yeah.
And then Oliver's mom goes, "It's hit you, huh?" And I went, "Uh-huh."
Yeah.
And so, like, for the first hour, it was pure bliss. I felt like I was in a video game. I was walking around, like,
yeah.
trying to pick stuff up, like, put it in
Is
my
this
inventory.
Minecraft?
I literally went over to my boyfriend. I was like, everything feels like a video game. And he was like, I think you need to lie down. And I lied down for a little bit. And then, like, the worst part hit, where I started having mini seizures.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah, I guess where, yeah, it gets.
And I just remember, going to the store to get snacks, and I have a picture where it's just the full belts
We're
of
gonna
giant
insert.
snacks.
We're gonna insert that picture here, and I'm not even kidding. When I edit this podcast, I'm gonna get the picture from Emma. We're going to insert this picture here because the amount. When I looked at the picture, I kept asking her, well, "Who is this for? Who is this for?" Yep, me.
Me.
Before you finish your story, I do have to say I'm the opposite. I can have edibles, and I'm okay not eating for hours and hours and
Really?
hours, which is why I think I lost so much weight, because I don't get the munchies until the day after.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Probably because you don't eat for so many hours, and then you wake up the next morning, and you're like, wow, I sure am hungry.
Yeah, because then it's like we'll go to Wawa.
The
and
last
I'm
time
like,
I
oh
ate
my
was
God.
yesterday morning.
Am
Go
I
on.
allowed to continue?
Yes, you, you interrupt
but
us
I-
next time.
yeah,
It's fine.
you're good. You're good.
No, I hate interrupting.
Get used to it with the podcast.
So, I remember going to the store, getting a bunch of snacks, and being in the store, and obviously I didn't drive myself. Oliver's mom came with me, and Oliver came with me. And I remember being in the store, and I was like, everybody knows I'm high.
That's the, dude, that's
it was
the worst.
like, paranoia. I was like, everybody's judging me right now. Everybody, because I have bad social anxiety. So I was like, everybody sees it.
I get
Are
the
my
same
eyes
way in
red?
public.
And I was like, and he was like, you're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're
They
fine.
don't know.
Calm down.
Was
Nobody.
he high?
No.
Okay, so I was going to say, you would have ruined his eye if you were asking that
Oh
many
no,
questions.
that's in the second.
Okay, yeah, go on.
But and then I just remember going to McDonald's, even after
After the snacks?
after getting all the food, because then I also have ARFID, which is an eating disorder, which also, at the time, if I look at a food, my brain could be like, "That's disgusting. You can't eat that for a whole week."
Yeah.
So that's fun. But like at that time, my brain was my brain was just.
Yeah, I have food avoidance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I remember going to McDonald's, and I was still having mini seizures, and I just remember Oliver being like, "Do we need to take her to the hospital?" and then Oliver's mom goes, "No, there's ways to bring down the high. We'll figure it out. She's fine. She's not like having full seizures. It's just like little like twitches." And then
Right.
I remember going to sleep and then being high for 3 days after.
Oh my goodness.
I was high for at least 2 to 3 days after I took my first edible. And then when I took my first mushroom edible,
Oh gosh.
that was fun. I'll get back to your story in 1 second, but before I forget, taking a mushroom edible, I can never do that again. I can do the other things, but this was a gummy, and it would make me pissed off afterwards.
I thought you were going to say it would make me piss.
Well, that was
Straight
what I was-
pee.
Pee on everything.
It would make me piss everywhere. No,
like
it
a
would,
dog.
I would get angry after I took it. After I took that, so I stopped because I was told to stop because I was becoming very unpleasant. But yeah, no, the edibles. Go on with your
Second
stories.
story?
Yeah, so that's I don't
All
know
right.
if I heard this one.
It's the gummy one.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I heard it. Go on.
Okay, So this one, my boyfriend actually did get high with me, and it was not a pleasant experience. We got these gummies, and they were supposed to be like 15 milligrams each. And I was like, I've had 150. I'm fine.
I can do this.
I can do this. I could
Famous
not
last
do it.
words.
I could not do it. I took it. My boyfriend took it. My boyfriend's sister took it. As like a collective experience, and my boyfriend was like, I'll just do it with you. Just have fun like one time.
No, it wasn't fun.
No, it was not. So again, the first like hour after it kicks in, it's fine. I ate like a whole plate of meatballs.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling you, when I get hungry, I get hungry.
Yeah,
when
like
I'm high.
ravenous.
Yeah, that's like,
Like-
yeah.
Like I will go through the whole pantry, and even when like my stomach doesn't even hurt at that point because I'm just so hungry. But about like 2 hours in, I was laying down with my boyfriend, and he was feeling it too. And I was just laying down and went, for warning for those out there with emetophobia, I need to throw up. And I got up, went to the bathroom, or like our bathroom downstairs, because we have a bathroom in our room. We live in the basement. There was this metal sink, and I just,
Right in there.
right in there, everything I ate. Everything.
R.I.P. meatballs.
I have a very similar story about drinking.
It's not done.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And I then was like, I went upstairs, and I remember talking to Oliver's mom, and I was like, it's bad. I already threw up. And like, oh, I forgot to mention, after like a little bit, literally 5 minutes after we ate the edible, and like, Oliver's mom goes, so apparently this one's like 30 times more potent. And I was like, you're telling us now?
Oh.
Now? After we ingested it? Why?
Where did she get it from? Or where did they get it from? Do you know?
Berman's.
So, yeah. So, I figured that out. I love Berman's, but I love the smoke shop across the street. That's ours. That's Frank's
Yeah.
place.
We love you, Supreme.
Yeah,
I just saw him yesterday, actually. got
Did
a
you?
new- got a
Yeah,
new
we
one.
saw him at 9:40 last night.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
there yesterday at like 6 something.
Well, I'm telling you that I would much rather go to Frank's because Berman's, they kind of hide a little bit of what
Yeah,
they'll
I
say 15
realized
milligrams.
that, and I should have done more research before taking the gummy, but like, I was like, at that point, I was like, I've had 150 milligrams in my
Right, like
system.
this is
and
probably
it says
fine.
nothing on the tin about being
Huh?
more.
Outside.
Oh my
I'll
God.
edit this part out. We'll edit this out. I don't have cash, so next week, when you're over.
The disappointment on her face.
I know
everybody.
she looks like a 6-year-old. Oh, I don't care about that part. I don't have cash on me. Or else I would have sent you out with I would have sent you out with a 40 and said
Yeah,
get
right.
something for everybody.
Get us some ice cream.
On
my
come
way
back,
here-
it cuts to just.
Yeah, right.
Just eat it. On my way here, I was like, man, I could really go for a snow cone right now.
Do you know how badly I could go for my favorite, which is a chocolate frosty and French fries?
Ooh, yeah.
'Cause
like
you
you
don't
dip them, dude.
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't use a spoon to eat a frosty.
Dang it! Now I have to go to Wendy's.
No, not until I can afford to go. You're good. You can't go
Can I
now.
continue my story?
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead. Go
yes,
ahead.
please. I'm
Um,
sorry.
But I was saying that Oliver's mom goes, it's 30 times more potent than regular stuff. And I was like, you're telling us now? What's 15 times 30? Like,
About 2,000, which is what I take on a daily.
and so I was like, well, we'll experience whatever we experience. It's already in our systems. It's not like we can.
It's too late for that.
Right.
And so back to where after I threw up everything in my system, I just remember going upstairs, falling asleep on a chair, and Oliver came upstairs with me, and I don't know how, he repeatedly says, I don't know how I walked upstairs. And I was like,
I
I don't
just
know
got
either. I
here.
just knew that you were following me everywhere because you wanted to make sure that I was safe.
Wait, who was following who? You were following him?
No, Oliver was following me everywhere because he wanted to make sure that I was safe. Even
that's
when
so
he was
sweet,
high and
though.
he couldn't, he didn't know how he was walking. He was like, I don't know how I walked up the stairs. I don't
But I
know how I
got
walked
here."
to the living room, but I got here and you're okay.
Talk about feeling jaded. The single girl over here is feeling very jaded
That
right
is
now.
so sweet, though.
Very adorable.
I remember sleeping on a chair and then getting up, and Oliver was on the couch, and I went over to sit on the couch with him, and I remember sitting there, and I went, I need to throw up again, but I think I have enough time to get to the bathroom upstairs.
Oh my God.
I assume you did not have enough time.
No, I was leaning back on the couch. I sat up, and
Oh, God. Just right on the floor.
and in the midst of throwing up, I pissed myself a little.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
And I
We're
just
bringing it
turned-
back to the peeing everywhere.
I just turned to Oliver, and I went, babe, we need help. And he was so, like, out of it. He was like, no, we're fine. And he was, like, half asleep, like, half sick. He didn't throw up at all, and I was surprised because his sister threw up.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, how did you do it?
How did you escape this wrath?
You know what?
But-
even with my tolerance and experience, I still get that wave of nausea if I take it on an empty stomach. If I take
It's not that I even took it on an empty stomach. I ate before because I knew that if I didn't, I was going to have, like, stomach pains because I already have stomach issues.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did the smart thing, and I was like, I'm just going to eat. Even if it was something small, I still ate something, so there was something in my system. But I was sitting on the couch, and I just went, like, I know your mom's at work, but can you please call your dad to come downstairs and help us? And after, like, 30 minutes of, like, me half falling asleep and half pleading with him because he was so out of it, he was like, I don't know if I can call my dad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, can you just please call him? And so finally he called his dad and just went, hey, Emma threw up and we're really high and it's really bad. Can you just come downstairs and help us, please? And his dad was so nice. He was just like, I got it. Just go downstairs, change, take a shower if you need to. I got it. And he literally cleaned up my throw up.
Oh.
And I was just like, I looked at him and I was like,
So
thank you.
it's funny.
My savior.
It's funny you say the shower because I will give you a little hint. Anytime you do an edible, if you start feeling like you are too high, because in anything else I take, if I'm getting too much, a shower does me wonders. It doesn't matter if I took a shower 20 minutes ago. I will take another one if I feel better.
I didn't want to take a shower because I also have POTS.
Okay, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was so dizzy. I was like, I'm not going to
Afraid
be
that
able
you were
to
gonna pass out,
stand
yeah.
in the shower. And
You could have sat down in the shower.
well, no, we have a chair. Because
okay.
his sister has Ehlers-Danlos.
Okay.
And we have a chair, so if you need to sit down, but I hate using that chair.
Yeah.
And
I
so
would too. I don't know.
I don't like sitting down in the shower. And so I was just like, I'm just going to take a shower tomorrow morning. Newsflash, I was high for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, goodness.
Oh boy. So if I ever get you anything, it's going to be so here I can tell you exactly why that happened to you. So the reason why it was a lot more stronger than the other ones you got is because it didn't just include THC. Delta 9, Delta 8, THC, CBD. That's all in those gummies at once. That now if you take just the THC, you're good. But here's the other thing. You ever take anything else again? You cut that sucker in 20s.
I know.
And you start with 1, and then you move on to number 2, and then 3. So go slow.
Yeah. Pace
Slow.
yourself with
and
that.
or just the lollipops.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
get-
they...
we'll get you a lollipop. We'll start with that because it moves into your system really slow, and it gives you just natural body
I'm not
high.
good with lollipops in general because I bite lollipops.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
do
you-
the same thing.
you-
You are not supposed to bite
Yeah,
these.
don't bite these because. Well, here's the
It's
other.
like an impulse.
Well,
I
then
can't help
if
myself.
you bite it, suck on the candy. Don't bite the candy. What's in your mouth? But it tastes so much like THC.
even harder to
Oh
do.
my God. All right, well, bite it and see what happens. Because the thing is, if you bite it, your high is not going to get as high. which is good for you.
Yeah, honestly,
actually,
that might be better
You know what?
for you.
Bite the lollipop.
Actually, bite the crap out of
Yeah,
it.
make sure it's sawdust by the time you're done. So now that we have talked about highs and lows, you see what I did there. And
So
then
clever.
Very self-congratulatory.
I'm hearing laughter coming from not the three of us, which means Sophia is not finding me funny either. But now that we've talked about the highs, the lows, the good, the bad relationships, the people that we just don't like, the lady at Macy's who kind of pissed me off, we've covered all of that.
We should call the episode Petty Betty at the Clinique Counter.
Oh my God, remember
Yes.
that? Petty Betty at the Clinique Counter. So if you're looking for our episode, it's called Petty Betty at the Clinique Counter.
It's this one, guys.
Yeah, this one that we're on now. So here's the thing. I am so thankful to both my co-hosts and my daughter for being here. We'll try to get her on for the next one, which I think we're going to film the next one. I got to check with you on your schedule. Next weekend is Mother's Day.
Right, so we probably are not going to be
We're
able to.
probably not going to do next week's, but we're going to actually make this a double with last week's and this week's. So you guys get twice the fun in one episode. We're going to miss you guys. We're going to miss the hell out of you guys next week. Remember, we've got some events coming up. They have to get ironed out. We are going to have a community day for the Taylor Hospital and Crozier Hospital employees. That'll be somewhere in between Aston and Brookhaven. We have no idea. I am going on, and this is going to sound absolutely nuts the first time I said it on the podcast. I'm going on mini tour. I'm going to be singing all over Delco and surrounding areas. We've gotten some feedback from Jersey, Delaware, New York. Brought to you, all of this, by Perjangers and Wallhangers. So they are bringing the event. They are bringing my concert series. They are bringing anything we are doing to you guys. And let me think of anything else.
If you're a Doctor Who fan, me and Matt have a new podcast called the Abandoned TARDIS podcast. We'll be doing it. Yay! We'll be doing episode 2 this week, so go check that out on Perjangers and Wallhangers.
They're gonna film it right after we're done.
Yeah,
filming
we're
this
literally.
one. Emma, you got anything going on?
Not just the fact that you should bring me on tour with you because I also sing.
Yeah, so
Hell
Emma,
yeah,
Emma
brother.
actually sings too. Emma will hopefully be singing with me at the media theater concert, so we can get her on that one. I also have a few other shows too, and I would love to duet with this girl. She's amazing. The other thing too is anybody out there who needs a singer, who needs a band, we've got graduation parties, we've got weddings, we've got communions, we got baptisms. Make sure you let us know via email or message because we are available. So make sure you tune in to Tales of the Haunted with Frank Percy and Matt Mann. Make sure you turn into the M&M podcast with Matt and Matt. Make sure you turn into the TARDIS podcast, the Forgotten TARDIS?
The Abandoned
The
TARDIS.
Abandoned TARDIS. I am horrible for even forgetting
No,
the
it's
name.
fine.
Make sure, God bless you. Make sure you
Bless
say God
you,
bless you to
queen.
Emma. Make sure you turn into lug nuts. We have
Say
a
that 10 times faster and 10 times.
I will say
10
it
times louder.
I will say it till I'm blue in the face. So we have a documentary coming out from bless you again. I will edit that out too. You can only keep the first one in.
We'll leave the first one, but the second one's
So-
gotta
You
go.
only get one, bless you.
So, the Lug Nuts podcast has a documentary coming out, Delco to freaking Delco. They went to Ohio, and they have a Delco in Hawaii. Ohio.
do they?
I almost said Hawaii.
Hawaii.
In Ohio,
Oh,
too.
Hawaii.
So, actually, real quick before we...
Friends.
How are you?
Good. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
We missed you last week.
Yeah, I was not having a good time last week, so
Okay.
had to take a break.
That's fine. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
So what are we doing today? What are we talking about today?
Whatever you want.
Where are we starting?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Girl, I don't know. I'm just here.
Okay. Well, how was your week?
It was rough. It was a rough one.
Okay, that's as far as you need to go.
Yeah, it was a rough one, but we're here now. We're having a great time.
Yes, we are.
We were supposed to have a guest this week, guys. She had to reschedule on us, but we got you for next week, most likely. She is a fitness influencer.
Yes, yes, and she'll hate every word of that. Fitness influencer. She is modest as can be, and she wants to make a TikTok for her dog, not even herself.
For her dog. Oh,
yes,
that's so cute.
Yes, I know. I love her. Nina is absolutely awesome.
What is actually? You know what? Tell me this off stream, but tell me her last name later so I can.
Okay.
So I know if I know her.
Absolutely.
So what have you been up to this week?
Nothing.
You just been hanging?
Yes.
Any PFA issues this week?
Oh my God. No PFA issues.
Thank goodness.
My ex-husband though is such a freaking idiot.
How was your Easter though?
It was good. I went to Matt's parents.
Yeah.
With his brother. And we had something different. I want to say it was like a roast.
Man, I was just thinking about pot roast the other day too.
I make a
and I was like, man, I could really go for a pot roast right now.
I make a really good pot roast, and it's enough for like I want to say 30 people.
Man,
you're a few blocks from me.
Yeah. Next time you make a pot roast, give me a call.
Absolutely.
I'll be here with a plate. My
Absolutely.
own plate.
I was thinking one of these days we should do an episode where we are talking and cooking.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. See, I've always been a baker.
Did I tell you I went to culinary school?
Oh, did you? I
for
did not
pastry.
See, my mom taught me to bake when I was young, and ever since then, that has been like my forte. Like, I hate to cook. I do not like regular cooking generally.
Well, it's funny you say that because I have a pastry arts degree. Can do it as much as I want if I wanted to. I absolutely hate to bake. I've made 2 cakes in the last week, and they were all from the box.
I remember one Easter, actually, I had made a cheesecake. It was the first time I ever made a cheesecake. It was incredible, and it was like a rainbow cheesecake. So I added food coloring and stuff, and it was all like pastel rainbow for Easter.
Well, that sounds delish.
Oh, yeah. I could do cheesecake. I could do brownies, like homemade brownies.
Okay.
There is, and I believe she still has a channel. She used to be on a channel called Bon Appetit. Her name is Claire Saffitz. She has a book, and it's called Dessert Person.
Okay.
And it's just dessert recipes. And
really?
I made a flourless chocolate cake one year for my sister for her birthday. It was a massive hit. Everybody loved it.
Well, that's amazing. Did you know you can also get rid of the eggs, water, and oil and use Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi?
I did not know that.
Yeah. You can
Good
use
old
that.
Substitute.
Sprite, Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, and Starry.
Oh, okay.
So for like the white cakes, you use the syrupless stuff, and for the darker cakes and brownies, you use the Coke or Pepsi.
I think it's always been like with cooking, it's very much like you just throw whatever. Like there's a recipe, but it's a loose recipe, you know? Like
right.
A lot of the time like chefs will like, unless you're like a 5-star chef and you've got to do it this way.
Right.
You can just throw whatever you want into the pan.
As long as all the ingredients are there. And that's so funny that we bring this up now, because I do think that every relationship is possible as long as all of the ingredients are there.
I agree. 100%.
You got to have the ingredients. If you can live your life with that person and talk to that person, and you have communication, which is ingredient 1. You have the love languages, which could be ingredient 2.
And also you have to like, I feel like if you want a healthy relationship, you really have to make sure you're okay with yourself first.
Yes.
Which is, I know it's something we've talked about in previous episodes, but like it really is like super important to be able to, be alone with yourself.
Even if you're not going and walking away and leaving a room full of people, if you can put on a pair of headphones.
Right.
Or look at your phone and totally disregard everybody in the room, you're not being rude. You are being considerate to yourself.
Mindful to your own feelings and emotions.
Yes.
Very mindful, very demure.
Exactly.
Man, we're really falling today.
I know. We don't really do the silent moments when it comes to. I do have One situation that we touched base on last week that I would like to ask your opinion about because you weren't here last week.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who we're just going to consider them and they.
Okay.
So them and they. Don't want to give away this person's identity or make it uncomfortable for them.
Right.
But we have this person who lives closer out west. And you know what? It's funny. I think of everything out west from here. I'm like, oh, out west. Yeah, like,
everything.
yeah, Georgia, out west.
Yeah,
When technically, really, that's not it.
Not the south. It's out west from us.
Yeah, everything's west.
You got to remember the never eat soggy waffles.
Yes,
That's how I
exactly.
remember.
So this person lives out west somewhere, but I am a big believer on wanting to or needing to be by yourself, needing to have that time. Every person I've seen, including this person, when they're leaving relationships or they want to leave a relationship or they're being told, I no longer want to be in this relationship anymore. Do you ever question and wonder how the person just doesn't leave?
Yes. And I think that one's rough because like you on the outside want to be like, I don't understand why you're still with this person. They've given you so many red flags to the point where, you should be fed up. But you have to remember, especially in abusive situations, it is not easy to leave.
Now, it's funny because you never know what really goes on behind closed doors.
Right.
Everybody said that to me before or after I left. Why didn't you leave during it? Well, I know why I didn't leave.
Right.
But I guess you're right. Like
from the outside looking in, it's frustrating, especially if it's somebody like that you love. Like say like it's, your sister or, your brother, then they're in like a bad relationship and everybody around them can see that this is a bad relationship. They're in a bad way. They need to get out. But you've got people who limit your communication, keep you from leaving the house, but then also they'll be the sweetest person in the world to you sometimes. So you have instances where it's, you have the abusive situation, right? That happened. And then maybe like an hour later, they come back and they are the nicest person to you. Like it never even happened. And they apologize and it's, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said that. Like, I would never actually do that to you.
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. That makes sense.
I think that's what makes it so hard for people in those situations to leave them because, like, you think, like, oh, well, maybe they really aren't like this. Maybe it was just, like, they had a moment of their own frustration.
Right.
But if you are having to take out your own anger, even if it's unrelated to this person, if you're having to take out your anger on that person, that's a fucking problem.
Right.
You should never take out your own, issues, your own trauma on somebody else. Because, that then creates a whole new layer of trauma for that person. And it's kind of like a domino effect situation, like you're just kind of like, one domino falls and now the next person has learned that behavior.
Right.
And they don't see it as wrong because they've been in situations where, oh, well, I was treated like this, so why shouldn't I treat somebody else like that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Good little tidbits to think about.
Yeah.
Here's my next question for you. So the other thing we were talking about last week, too, that I wanted to touch base on was we had Tony on to kind of take your place for a minute. And Tony, love you to death, but nobody can ever take your place. So here's my other thought. So Tony is recently or in the process of getting divorced. You are still young. You're not going to ever have that happen to you. As we've talked about Tom in the past, and we love him. He is finding it a problem with not being able to be alone. So Tony, example A, is constantly wanting to go out on dates, put himself on dating sites, not fully yet divorced, and doing his thing. So, question is, how do we tell our listeners and other people who might be in that situation to kind of, I guess it's touching base too on the same thing we've talked about before, as being on your own. And it really all does stem back to that, of being by yourself. Because the point I'm trying to make here is that there's no other advice we can give to Tony or anybody out there like Tony unless we say to them again, be alone.
Right. And the thing is, like, especially when you are constantly in relationships,
Mm-hmm.
like, say, like, you're jumping from one relationship to the next with no time to breathe in between, you know?
Right.
Like, you're not giving yourself enough time to process everything that happened in your previous relationship before you move on to the next one. And then you're carrying problems from that previous relationship into the new one. And you're not growing as a person.
Exactly.
It's really rough because, like, it is, as somebody who, you know, struggles with a lot of my own, like, mental issues and stuff, like, being by myself is something that is very difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
And to those people, I would say, rediscover the things that you used to love. That is huge. Like, I have started, you know, distancing myself more from Tom. Like, not necessarily in any kind of bad way. We just kind of have our own stuff going on. And that's fine. You don't have to be with the person you're in a relationship with 24/7. You don't have to be, you know, up each other's asses, basically.
Right.
It's okay if you want to go into a different room and read a book for a while and just sit with yourself. And,
Right.
you know, maybe you want to watch TikTok by yourself or something like that. You know, like, it's whatever you like doing. If it's art, if it's baking, if it's reading, like, rediscover those hobbies because that's how you get to be by yourself again.
Exactly. Now, I do love the fact that solo activities, like, I could go onto my headphones and listen to TikTok. I could have 40 people around me. I'm not worrying about anybody
Exactly.
except what Alex Earl may or may not possibly be doing today. That is just like a fun thing.
You know what's funny? I recently, so Tom is, he works for a casino company, and we travel sometimes because he has to travel for work. They open new casinos and, like, you know, it's like sports book betting kind of thing. So he mostly installs kiosks. We had gone to Maine in the summer, so I think it was this past August, and it was a bar opening that we were attending. And I'm not a bar person. I don't really drink.
Right.
I'm not super into, like, large crowds and, like, noise and stuff. Noise is a huge trigger for me. Like, I don't like overlapping sounds and stuff like that. So what I had done was I had just gotten a new book because we had been, like, you know, hitting up the shops around town and stuff while we were there. And I sat in a chair in the corner of the bar, and I just read a book by myself. And there was, like, 50 TVs around me, all playing, like, different things, like sports games, whatever. And I had his manager come up to me, and he's like, I didn't even see you there at first. We put all of these, you know, all these games, there's so many things happening on the TVs, and you're sitting here reading a book. I was like, well, you know, this isn't my vibe. I gotta figure out what I can do to feel comfortable in this space. And for me, that was focusing on reading.
Right.
And I was able to get through the whole night because I had something to distract myself anytime I started to feel a little bit too overwhelmed or, like, you know, everything around me was happening too fast. And, you know, it's just funny because, you know, he's like, oh, we have everything on these TVs and you're over here reading a book. Come on. It was Dracula, by the way. I was reading Dracula, guys.
So much disappointment in that guy who was like, this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would throw on my headphones and read a book.
And they had, you know, it was a bar opening, so they had all this free food. So I was just munching on chicken tenders, reading my book. And
Okay, so that guy apparently had no idea what the definition of fun was.
So he was very sweet about it. It was just something that, like, he thought was funny. It was that, you know, like, there's tons of people here. There's TVs and, like, you know, whatever. And
was he older?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like
That's adorable.
Maybe like 50s.
Yeah,
like
that's
mid-50s.
It's really cute.
But he was so sweet about it, and he just thought it was funny that, like, I'm the only person in this bar that is just reading. I'm just sitting here reading.
That's it. That's all you had to do was read.
Yeah, and it helped. It really did, because then, like, I was able to focus on the words on the page instead of the overlapping sounds around me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of crowds myself, like noises and stuff like that. I tend to get a little bit freaked out. Like, we went to see, after I had left my abusive relationship, we had gone to see probably about a month later, the Struts,
Okay.
which we're going back to see in August. So excited.
Hell yeah, brother.
But we went to go see the Struts, and it was my first big outing since then. And between the noises and everything like that, I got really freaked out if I couldn't see him behind me.
Yeah, it's really stressful.
Oh, my
especially,
God.
Like, you know, if you're trying to stay with a group of people.
Yeah.
Or, like, even just one other person, and then, like, it feels like I have to hold on to you.
Right.
Otherwise, like, we're both just going to get lost in this sea of people.
Well, the funny thing is because now thinking back on it, he was behind me the whole time, which is kind of where you want your quote unquote bodyguard. If they're going to be behind you, they got more of a view. And I'm like, why the hell does he keep trying to leave me? Like, what is going on here?
Walk next to me.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? And in my head, I'm like, okay, he was in the best spot possible because he could still see me.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to be around
And
that
you're
person.
protected from pickpockets as well.
Oh, I didn't bring anything with me.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, actually, we
You would've been
spent
protected.
all of the cash that I think we had between the two of us to each get a drink.
oh my God.
It was the Fillmore.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I think we each got like, this is before we quit drinking. I think we each got like a tall thing like that.
Mhm.
And I want to say it was $13 or $14 each.
Oh my God. That's like Renaissance fair alcohol prices.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I had an event, it would be BYOB.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to charge everybody so freaking much.
I just saw a post this morning that there's apparently a gays eating garlic bread in the park meeting somewhere in Seattle, and it was a BYOGB. Bring your own garlic bread.
Oh,
I
want
wanna go.
I want to do that.
Never
Here.
been to
Did you
Seattle.
ever see the cake thing that they do?
No.
I don't know what state it's in. It's a big, huge, giant, like 18, 20 table set up, and you each bring a homemade cake. There's like hundreds of homemade cakes.
That sounds like heaven to
And
me. I
as
am
long as
such a
you
cake
make
person.
one, you get to bring slices home for free.
Oh my gosh.
Because
yeah.
that's how they see how many people, you know.
I am such a cake person. That is.
Like I said, I made
That's where I'm trying to be.
I made two cakes. I made a cake yesterday. We went to a friend's house, and I made like a vanilla basic bitch cake. And
Basic bitch cake.
that's what it was. And then for Easter, I did a boxed carrot cake.
Okay.
And I had gone around to like supermarket to see like what you could find or whatever. There was absolutely nothing.
Really? Well, you know, it's Easter, so like
It
tons
wasn't
of
just
people
Easter.
are-
This was the day before Easter.
See, oh no, but it's still Easter
Mhm.
because people are they're doing their shopping for Easter. So a lot of the time they'll make cakes and stuff, and you gotta have the sweets. You know, you can't have Easter without sweets.
But the bakery, you'd think they would have had stuff the day before. It's okay. It's over. It's done.
it's over. I have to
Today's
just move
episode
on.
is just a grab bag of things that.
Yeah. We've both had a bit of a slow week this week, so.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? So my mom, I know I've talked about in previous episodes.
Yeah.
That, you know, she was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And I say was with great pride. She is on medication. Go ahead, do it.
Yay!
She's taking medication now that does not allow her to drink like that.
Now, is this
And-
a maintenance med for something else, or is this a
Yes.
permanent med to
Well,
keep?
so it's like depression medication. It's for her anxiety and depression, which is like something that like I knew she struggled with, and I've known that she struggled with it for a long time. It's can be a hereditary thing as well. So
It can.
but she has been the happiest this week I have seen her in years.
As soon as you said Candy and Doctor Who, I was like,
Yeah.
It clicked in my head.
Listen, I have not spent that much time with my mother in I don't like 2 or 3 years now. I spent the entire day with her yesterday.
I'm
I-
so proud.
I got up in the morning. You know, she was watching Parks and Rec, which is her comfort show, in the living room. So we watched that until it was done at like I think it was like noon, and then I was like, so you wanna catch up with Dr. Humo? And she was like, all right, fine. And then we ended up watching it until like 10 o'clock last night. It was
Oh
from
my
like
God.
12 in the afternoon until 10 o'clock last night, and we were just giggling and snacking together, and it was great.
What's your comfort show?
New Girl.
No, mine's is
What is it?
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I can watch Gilmore Girls specifically because I know I will fall asleep with it.
It's got your boy Jared Padalecki in it.
I love him.
I am obsessed with Jared Padalecki.
I love him even when they tried to cancel him out because something he'd said.
Oh, did he do something that I'm unaware of?
It wasn't important. It wasn't like bad. It was like I think he put like glass in the non-recycling box or something. Well, ever since then, I liked him even more.
He's just a moose.
Yes.
The height of a moose. I don't know if you're a supernatural girly.
I never got into it. I think because it was geared towards a younger audience.
Yeah.
So I missed out on all the good shows.
Supernatural, so I actually fell off of that show. I think season like 11 or something. I don't know. I watched a lot of it, and then it just kind of became like really samey to me. Like it turned into like, oh, this season is we're fighting this demon or this angel or whatever, and now there's drama between the brothers, and now one of us is dead, but it's okay because we're not going to be dead for long because we die like 3 times per season.
Oh my God.
That's the whole
That's
show.
it?
That's the whole show.
I'm
basically.
good. I don't need to watch it.
I have seen, I believe it's the very last episode, like the scene where everything ends and Dean finally accepts his own death.
Did you call him Dean?
Dean Winchester.
His name is Dean in that show too?
Well, no, Jared Padalecki was Sam.
Oh, okay.
Sam Winchester.
Jared was Dean in Gilmore Girls, so that's
Oh,
why.
okay. That's actually hilarious because Jensen Ackles plays his brother, Dean Winchester.
It's hilarious. I was going to say something else. Oh, yeah, Gilmore Girls. But no, my favorite was not him. Well, I love Jared Padalecki.
He's
but
such a cutie in
he
that
is.
show.
But I love the one who played her boyfriend at the end, college.
Oh, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen
Yeah.
it. I watched it very like sparingly too. Like I don't think I've ever sat down and
So
like,
that's your
really watched
homework.
the show. Watch Gilmore Girls.
Yes,
I
your
got you.
homework is to watch Gilmore Girls.
I need something. You know what? Actually, I just finished Whole Cake Island in One Piece. So I might have to keep watching One Piece for a while, but I will get to it.
Gilmore Girls
I'll put it on my
eventually.
list. I'll put it on my list for when I want to not watch anime.
Put it on your list if you want to fall asleep. It's good, great show, but if you
Yeah.
watch it one time,
I
you
was
can-
watching Charmed the other day for the first time in years.
I never watched it.
Charmed, I think, is what got me into witches. Like the whole like the Vampire Diaries does it as well with like witches and stuff. They're kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when I was really little, my mom was super into Charmed, and I remember I would go to preschool around like noon every day. So in the morning, they would just have like reruns of Charmed on, and she would just watch Charmed, and I watched a lot of Charmed, and I used to try to do like I would make potions and stuff in the mud,
Oh.
and like I would try to do little spells.
Oh my God.
There was a time when I was like 9 or something that I was obsessed with mermaids, which then turned into I'm trying to turn myself into a mermaid.
It's funny you bring up the mermaid thing. When I was, I want to say 7 or 8, I was absolutely obsessed with The Little Mermaid.
Oh, that was my favorite
Yeah.
Disney movie
Mhm.
growing up, and honestly, I think Ariel was my gay awakening. If
There
we're
you go.
being real.
And it was so funny because I'm sitting there and I was like, someday I'm going to marry my Prince Charming and I'm going to get, I would wrap my legs in a blanket. And I would say I would get my
so
legs.
you could be a mermaid at your wedding, of course.
Yes, so I would wrap my legs in blankets, and I was going to find him, and then he's going to turn me into a human. And
And it's gonna be beautiful, and we're gonna live happily ever after.
so my uncle would carry me around because I didn't have
so
legs.
Sweet.
I know, right?
Oh man, we used to play mermaids in the pool all the time. Me and my older sister.
Okay, we used to play that. What's that game you play in the pool?
Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would play Marco Polo, but it would always be like we would make up our own mermaids. So like my tail is like rainbow, and like we would always have to one up each other because we're sisters. So of course.
Well, there you go.
And then it would just turn into a fight about which of us was the better mermaid. But we were definitely obsessed with H2O Just Add Water, which was
Mhm.
an Australian show. If anybody's seen it, which I'm sure you have.
That I've heard of.
Clear now.
God.
But yeah, so there was a period of time when like I remember I used to like look up like mermaid spells to like try to turn myself into a mermaid when I touched water, like the mermaids from the show. And I would spend like 2 hours in the bathroom. This is like just me telling embarrassing stories about myself. But I would spend like 2 hours in the bathroom with like my notebook where I wrote down the spell and like all the little spell ingredients, and I would like run the bath and then like make a potion in the bath basically and try to become a mermaid. Unfortunately for me, guys, it didn't work. So maybe don't try those spells. I don't know about Etsy witches. That's up to you.
Did you ever watch the movie Selena?
No.
All right, so one embarrassing story deserves another. And I'll tell you one of mine. So when I was younger, so how do I explain it? So in the movie Selena, she's a Mexican singer who unfortunately was shot. Long time ago. I think
Yeah.
I was in like second grade. But I always used to play her music and have the moment like she did in the movie where she was looking out her window and the guy that she wanted to be with was looking.
Don't get me started.
Oh my God, I used to
Because
do
I
that.
used to do that with like the Mulan soundtrack. Like I straight up like I remember I had a little radio. I had this little radio, and the only CD I had for it besides Taylor Swift's Fearless was like a compendium of like Disney princess songs, and it was specifically the song Reflection. And like I would put it on the radio, and then I would like gaze out my window and like pretend like I was Mulan.
Oh my God. Okay, so I wasn't the only one who did that.
Absolutely not. Especially like if you ever like had headphones like in the car or something, and like you were listening to like music and it was like raining, and you just like it felt like you were in a movie, like.
Well, yeah, I also used to think when I was really young that people were watching me on TV as I was driving down the street with my.
Everybody can see me. Yeah. Oh, that's great. This has just become embarrassing childhood story podcast. Oh man. When was the first time you cursed? Can't even get it out. I need to know that.
I was like 6 years old. I knew I hated my parents in the beginning because I was like 6 years old and I was walking down the tarmac. Like we had to go outside to get the plane. I forget where we were. And I was like walking with them, and the guy's like, "Oh my God, you guys were almost late. Well, what happened?" And I was like, "Oh, it's because of his fucking driving." And I pointed to my.
Fucking got him, dude. Absolutely got him. His fucking driving.
How about you? What was yours?
I'll never forget this because my dad refuses to let me forget this. But the first time I cursed, I was eating a lollipop, and kids just grab everything with their bare hands. Just like I grabbed this lollipop, in my hands, and by the time I was done, my hands were all sticky. And I walked up to my dad, and I looked at him, and I said, "Daddy, I'm all fucking sticky." And he said he laughed so hard that he cried. Oh, man. Kids cursing will never not be funny. Oh, man. Yeah, he won't let me live that down.
I wouldn't either.
Thinks about it all the time.
It's the brightest pink vape I've ever seen.
This one I have today is called Rainbow Rain. It kind of tastes like Nerds.
Oh, my God. No, it's just really bright pink. Oh my God, no, the cursing thing. Yeah, that was the first time I ever cursed. But yeah, no, I always was trying to find my true love by staring out of my window in Overbrook.
Yeah,
Philly.
in Overbrook, Philadelphia. My true love's out there somewhere. Oh, man.
Oh
Little girls sure are something, aren't they?
I have a 12-year-old.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, you were telling me earlier that she just hates anything British.
She does. She hates the British accent, and she hates the way they eat.
Is it just the way that the British accent sounds?
She said it sounds jarbled.
Okay. Well,
I can kind of say it. They kind of don't enunciate.
I watch a lot of British TV shows, so it's like I am just used to it now. Like, I can hear, like, I've noticed I've actually gotten really good at hearing like aerial dialects, like
Yeah.
you know, like how in Delco we have a specific accent, but then you go like over to Pittsburgh and it's a completely different accent.
Yeah.
It's like that in pretty much anywhere in the world. But yeah, there is a lot of different like forms that the British accent takes in the same way that we like, you know, if you're up north, they sound different than down south.
Yeah, like they always sound super excited, but they're not. They're not emotional people.
Not the overgeneralization of the British population. It's fine. We won anyway.
Yeah.
1776. Don't forget it, Britain.
Yeah.
Got him.
There you go. Straight from Brianna herself.
Straight from me. It's okay. I love you guys. I love you British people that are watching, if we have any.
We have one, and I'm hoping that she wants to be on the show soon. So
love you, girl. I'll
don't
try to guess what town you're from by your accent.
She doesn't know Doctor Who or any of the people who played him.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate for her, but that's okay. I can.
Friends.